Here in Sparta, I have a friend that I've known a long time, and I just refer to him as Old Honker. That's not really his name, but well, he does have a large nose, quite large, and we all call him Old Honker. He likes being called that. That's a good name for him. I wouldn't say Old Honker is not industrious at all, but well, he's very laid back. He has a habit of getting up in the morning, eating a good big breakfast, and going out, and if it's not raining, he goes out and lays down in the yard and takes a nap. He has a porch where he can take his nap. Sometimes he gets up in time for lunch. Sometimes Miss Maud has to wake him for lunch. But he does have a lunch, and then he naps some more. Your food digests better when you're napping, he says. Well, one day, Honk had a cousin that had moved to Sparta several years after him, lived right out the road from him there. The cousin passed away. All the folks from Maryland and Delaware and places had come in for the funeral. Miss Maud asked Honk during breakfast, "Are we going to the funeral?" "Well, I'd like to have, but I'm pretty tired today. I'm going to have a nap." She said, "Well, you know the funeral's this morning." "Yes, I understand. I just won't be able to go. I'm going to have a nap." He goes out in the yard and he lays down there in the grass and takes a nap. Well, the cemetery where the cousin will be buried is out beyond their house, so that the funeral procession passes their house. Honk is laying there in the yard. Miss Maud comes out. She's standing there by Honk. She's telling him, "Oh, there goes the hearse. And now there's your cousin Luther and his family's in the front car. And then and she goes on naming off all the cousins and a couple of uncles who are still living and so on." Honk says, "It's just my bad luck." "What's that, honey?" "I laid down facing the house instead of the road. I didn't get to see a bit of it." So this tells you a little bit about the industriousness of Honk. He decides he wants a swing out in his yard, so I help him. We put up some timbers, and I put up large timbers too. Honk is a large man. And we get a super heavy duty swing, and the chains didn't look real substantial to me, so I go buy some log chain, and we hang that swing. And Honk puts him a good pad in it. It's an extra long swing. He can lay down in it and take a nap. Boy, I mean, he is sitting on ready. Well, I go by to see him one day. He's just raised up from his nap, and he's reading the Sparta paper, the Expositor, sitting there reading it. An old hound dog laying over here comes walking up closer to us and lays down there in the shade. "Honk, I didn't know you had a hound. I knew you had bird dogs." "Oh, that's not mine. That's just a neighborhood dog. I like him, though. He reminds me of myself. He can just take a nap anywhere." The old dog's laying there. Honk has folded the paper and laid it down. We're sitting talking. And the dog, and you've seen hound dogs do this if you're familiar with them, he was dreaming something and he was running. Those feet were getting it. He laying on his side, and those feet were getting it, you know. I remembered something that my grandmother had told me, that her mother told her. Her mother, I never met her, but she was a Native American, as we say, an Indian, and her father was what we called a medicine man, a shaman. And she knew some tricks that he had told her over the years. But my grandmother said that her mother told her that when you see a dog running like that in his sleep, if you can put a piece of paper under his head and leave it there till the dog gets through with his dream and gets up and goes on, take that paper and put it under your pillow that night, you'll dream the same thing the dog is dreaming. Well, I tell Honk this, and it really intrigues him. Now, he's a large man, but he can move like a cat. He takes out a sheet of that Expositor. He eases over very easily and puts that under that dog's head. Comes back and sits down. We sit there and talk. The dog runs in his sleep, and once the dog stops and raises his head and looks all around, gets up and walks off. Honk gets that sheet of newspaper and folds it up real gently puts it aside where he'll know where it is. Okay, I kind of forget that. I go on home. It's 1 o'clock in the morning that next morning. Phone rings there by the bed, and I answer it. It's Miss Maud. She said, John, can you come up here right now? I said, well, I know Honk has some heart problems, you know. And I say, is it Honk? Yes, it is. I said, is it his heart? She said, I don't know. She said, he is outside in his pajamas. He's chased a cat up the tree, and now he's got his head hung in a pork and bean can.